Good afternoon, my people. What is going on? It is your main man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I want to welcome each and every one of you to episode 199. Now, it's a milestone coming up, 200's coming up on the newly recorded platform that we are doing. But before we get into any of our content today, I got to practice the attitude of gratitude and say thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one of you who are here with me live as I stream across the Wealth Our Way Facebook page and the Wealth Our Way Network YouTube page. Please get over there and subscribe to the Wealth Our Way Network YouTube page if you haven't as of yet. I want to give the Wow Nation salute to the many members of Wealth Our Way Nation who watch this program in its pre-recorded state overnight, over the weekend, wherever they can squeeze their 15 minutes of financial literacy in. And then a heartfelt how are you to the good folks on the Life 101 platform who listen to the audio recording of this very here program. Can you believe that there are only 18 days left? Oh my God, my lisp jumped out front and center. I bet you guys didn't realize that I grew up with very severe speech impediments. And sometimes I get excited and the lisp will jump out front and center. You even catch a little stutter if I get too exuberant. So I just want to say that to you guys because I now sit in front of a camera talking the majority of the day. I'm on the phone with clients the rest of the day. I use my linguistic skills more often than anybody I know in their profession. And when I was younger, I was in speech class from first grade to seventh grade, I want to say, to try to work on some of these speech impediments. So anybody can do it. With that being said, we are coming up on the end of the year. We are in the 15 days of Christmas series. This is day 13. Thursday will be day 14. And then a week from today, we'll wrap it up at day 15. Haven't made my mind up yet if we're going to do a show next Thursday. We most likely will because I love talking to you guys. But one of the things that as we wrapped up the earlier part of 15 days of Christmas and talked about the multiple ways to save as we came to the end of the year, I wanted to talk about retirement planning because end of year makes us think of, make sure our taxes are in order. We're trying to get deductions for IRAs and things of that nature. We're about to do our resolutions and plan for next year. And I was watching a weird program. I don't even know the name of the program, but it was a gentleman on there, and I don't remember his name. But he was talking about how he does not see time today the way we always have seen time. It was really weird. You get these new wave people selling a program or trying to sell a book, and they're trying to convince you that they see things in a way you've never heard of before. So you'll want to get more information from them. And his thing was he doesn't consider a day to be 24 hours anymore, which, that's what the calendar says it is. But I heard him out. I listened to him. He basically said, with the advent of technology being what it is, you can get so much more accomplished in a shorter period of time than you once could. Measuring time the way we've historically measured it is something that we shouldn't do anymore. And I got the gimmick of it. He said he breaks his days down into 6-hour days. He sleeps for 6 hours. He works for 6 hours. He enjoys himself for 6 hours. Then he works another 6 hours. And he said by having those two 6-hour work pockets, that 12 hours of work versus 8 hours of work that we typically see in a 24-hour day, he gets 50% more done. And, like I said, it was an interesting way of looking at it. Why am I bringing that up when we're talking about finance in the 15 days of Christmas? Well, one of the things that rung true about what the man was saying is that what worked in the past doesn't necessarily work today. My old manager at New York Life, shout out to my boy, Rob Corralius. Rob used to say, and he didn't make the saying up, but he just liked it and said it all the time, what got us here won't take us there. And it's just a nod toward understanding that evolution is always happening. The world is always changing. Right now, financially, we've been dealing with inflation. So the same $5 that's spent last year doesn't buy as much this year. So we always are in an ever growing state of needing to do a little bit more. If we stay exactly how we are, we're not going to be doing as well tomorrow, because tomorrow is harder to live than today was. With that being said, thinking about retirement plans, the way we've always traditionally looked at them, I think is a failing proposition. I'm not going to make a big deal about it and write a whole book or, come up with a clever way of shaping my ideology. I'm just going to share it with you guys who I love so much about how we really need to shape retirement. Anyone who's followed me and the programs that I do knows that I always say I never plan on retiring. My retirement, for me, I do have a plan. So this was maybe about 7 years ago. I said, I'm going to start here. I think I was 45 years old. And I said, I'm going to pretend, because I work for myself. So I had to pretend. Nobody tells me when to take off and when to work. I said, I'm going to pretend that starting now, I get 2 weeks of paid vacation every year. And what I would like to do as a retirement plan is add 1 week of paid vacation every year until I go to the upper room, as I like to say. So basically, my retirement plan is to start reducing the amount of weeks I work in a year until I can't work any longer. So if you think about traditional retirement age, which right now I want to say is 67, and we associate full retirement when you get your full Social Security benefits. And right now, for my generation, that's 67. So if you go 67 minus 45, that's 22 years of adding 1 week of vacation every year. So when I'm 67, I would actually have 24 weeks of vacation. Well, there's 52 weeks in a year. So I'd basically be working for 28 weeks and vacationing for 24 weeks. And I can get as creative as I want to. I can take every other week off, every other month off, every work, 2 weeks, vacation for a week and a half, then come back and work 2 weeks. I could do whatever I want because I'm the boss, but I would have to structure, making sure business gets accomplished when I'm on vacation. But I love that. I just created an idea. I've shared it with a couple of people who are entrepreneurs, and they said, that's a great idea. Maybe I'll mimic something like that. And it just got me to thinking that there are many ways to retire. And unfortunately, for a lot of us who have started retirement planning later than we should have, or we just don't have the means to put as much away in our retirement accounts as we would like to, or we've had big life events happen, the death of a fellow, a marital partner, so our income went down, or divorce, many, many things. We have more kids than we planned for. There's a lot of reasons why the dollar does not get its stretch on the way we want to get it on. And we have to start looking at alternative ways to accomplish the goal, because at the end of the day, is the goal retirement? And what does retirement mean? Or is the goal maintaining a quality of life that we enjoy and having it fully funded throughout our existence on this marble? I think it's the latter. The one thing I will say, and this I've shared this on the program before, when I used to do life insurance with New York Life, and I would go in people's homes and talk to them about, making sure they had the proper insurance and also the proper investments for retirement. One of the very first questions you get to is, when would you like to retire? It always was very eye-opening and actually also reassuring for me, because I didn't feel this way. The number of people who said, I want to retire as soon as possible, or I'd like to be retired now, or I wish I could retire yesterday. And it just always opened my eyes to how many people are doing something with their lives that they're not happy with, and they wish they could stop. That's the difference between a happy existence and a frustrating existence. Is, are we getting an enjoyable quality of life? If we're getting an enjoyable quality of life, there isn't that rush to retire. There's just a rush to improve on this quality of life, to do a little better each year, to have more fun, to have more free time, to have more control over our day, which is what made me think about, I love what I do. It's not a physically taxing job. so I can physically do it in my 80s, God willing. So really all it comes down to for me is, am I getting the quality of life that I desire? And if I'm getting that quality of life, I would want to continue this. So how do I do that? Do I put a team of people around me who can help the business continue as I take more time off? That would be the first thing that I would want to do. So let's transition the conversation to your daily life. Whether you are an entrepreneur or whether you work a W-2 job, what you need to think about is what retirement looks like for you. So I'm going to spend the next few episodes of 15 Minutes of Finance talking about the non-retirement plan. I'm going to talk about the current vehicles that we're familiar with, the traditional 401k, the Roth 401k, the traditional IRA, the Roth IRA. I'm going to talk about Social Security. I'm going to talk about annuities. I'm going to talk about piecing together a lifestyle that can be funded through your retirement, whether you choose to stop working, keep working, work part-time, pursue a whole nother career. I would love to learn how to play the piano. I might want to go sit in a piano bar and get $30 a night for playing if I can play well. $30 a night is probably not going to cover the gas to get back and forth to the piano bar, but that would be an ideal thing to do in my retirement. So many of us have gotten caught up in what's known as the rat race. We have this life that we are living to pay bills that pay for the life that we don't enjoy. And it's a circle that we never break. We're so far in debt. I just, before this call, was on with a client and we were talking about paying down debts, paying down credit card bills, student loans and deferment. And we never get ahead of the game. We never get to stop, breathe and say, this was the life I wanted, because we're now trapped in the life that we have to fund. And no one is free of that. Whether you make $1 million, $10 million, or $80,000 a year, people are all trapped in that. I had lunch with my daughter this past Saturday. She lives with her mom. Her mom and I are divorced. She lives with her mom. I don't know if she pays me rent or anything, but if she does, it's negligible. And she got a new job. I took her out to lunch to celebrate her new job. And all she kept telling me was she wants to look for somewhere to live and get a place of her own. She's 22. And I said, Kennedy, why rush? Either stay with your mom. I said, now that I'm in Georgia and been here for a while, I'm about to get a bigger place. You can stay with me and you can stay here until you get on your feet, until you're 30 for all I care, putting money away. I'll show you how to do it. And she's like, yeah, Dad, that's great, but I want to live on my own. I want to learn to be independent. And, you can't force your children to do anything that they don't want to do, but it's frustrating because you as the adult that's been out in the world knows once these bills start, dreams start to diminish. And here you have an opportunity to not jump into an environment where your biggest bill is your rent and then your car note and all these other things. And most people can't wait to do that. And that traps us from never having the retirement we want. So we're going to spend the next few episodes working the non-retirement plan. I'm looking forward to sharing this information with you. I can't wait to see you this upcoming Thursday. Remember, there is no financial power hour tomorrow night, but we will be back Thursday with the 14th day of Christmas here on 15 Minutes of Finance. So please, please, please join me. And remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy. You guys take care.